Hi YouTube. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a comparison video before I get into this project I'm about to get into. And what I'm going to be comparing today is a Colt Trooper versus a Colt Python. And before we get into this video, I'm going to show you that neither one of these things have anything in them. Nobody is in danger of getting shot through a camera. For all the wingnut YouTube people out there that think that a loaded gun will hurt them through a camera, I'm going to go ahead and put your mind at ease and you can watch this video. So what we have here today, we have a Colt Trooper made in the 1960s and we have a Colt Python made in the 1980s. And I've acquired this gun here. This is a Colt Trooper. This is a 38 Special. And we're going to do a little bit of project on this YouTube channel. We're going to restore this thing. We're going to make it cool. But we're going to do it in a little bit unconventional way. A lot of the Colt collectors, the white glove people, and all that is going to lose their mind when they see what we're going to do to this thing. And I don't care. That actually makes it funner for me. So what I'm going to do to this thing is I haven't decided completely everything. I'm asking for feedback on this. I'm going to do this in a series of videos. I don't know how long this is going to take. It's not going to take terribly long, but it's going to take a little bit longer than the last project that I did. I'm going to take this gun. This is a nickel-plated Colt Trooper 38 Special. I'm going to strip all the nickel off of it, which is a little bit of a challenge in itself. And I'm going to make it into a royal blue Colt gun. And I'm going to take a spare 4-inch barrel off of a Colt Python. I'm going to install that on it. And I'm going to convert this thing from 38 Special to 357 Magnum. That's where we're at so far with it. But what I'm going to do, start off here, and I'm going to show you some of the differences and some of the similarities in this and this Colt Python here. So this is a Colt Python. The difference is this is a stainless one. This is a bright stainless. It is not nickel. It looks a lot like the one I just showed you, but this is stainless. And this is chambered in 357 Magnum. So some of the similarities is these two guns have pretty much the same action in them. They both have the leaf spring action. They have a lot of characteristics that are the same. Now, this gun here works just as smooth as a Colt Python does. It isn't quite as refined and hand-worked and all that stuff, but this is what started the Colt Python. They basically took a Colt Python and didn't put as much work into it and created this more affordable option. Now, when I was originally looking for something to do a project like this on, I was looking for a 357 Magnum Colt Trooper with this style frame on it. And believe it or not, I thought that's what I was getting in this one. And I just rushed it. And I acquired this gun and realized it was a 38 Special. So we'll go from there. It'll make it even funner. So the differences is this doesn't have quite as long of a spurred hammer on it as the Colt Python does. Colt Python's got that signature long spurred target hammer on it. Now the big difference is the Colt Python has a frame mounted firing pin on it. I'll leave that open, and this Colt Trooper has a hammer mounted firing pin on it. Now the 357 Magnum Colt Troopers from this era, I believe, have a frame-mounted firing pin on them. So that's going to be one little thing that's going to differentiate between the two. But we're going to, I think that's kind of cool. We can change that over, but I'm going to leave it like that because I think it's going to be different. It's going to be something that nobody else has. Another thing, when you look at these things, when you pay attention to detail, if you look at the cylinder, how it's all beveled on the end of the Colt Python, that's just the folks at Colt taking their time and, really paying attention, close attention to details when they hand make a weapon like this. If you look at the Colt Trooper, it's more squared off on the end of it. Just not as much time taken into polishing and, into looks and all that. And that's why this is more of a budget gun, and the Colt Python is far from a budget gun. This thing has an exposed ejector rod on it. The Colt Python has a full underlug. It's fully shrouded and everything like that. So that's going to change on this trooper. So I've already verified, just for argument's sake, that this thing is the same frame and Colt Python grips will fit on it. So when we get to putting grips on it, we have a very wide variety of things we can choose, and I'm going to choose something very unique. What I did notice about this is it doesn't have the rampant Colt on here, because I think somebody's refinished this thing and they pretty much washed that off of it. I do not know that for certain. I usually know a lot more about the Colt firearms than I knew about this one, because this one's got a few odd things about it, but most of them have this. If you look on the Python, it's got the Colt pony, the rampant Colt on the side plate, and this one does not have that. So I don't know if that's been washed off, in the polishing when they refinish this thing or not. Really doesn't matter to me. Now, one of the two ways I'm thinking about going with this is I redid a 4-inch blued Colt Python for a young lady that I know that always wanted one. We made this thing perfect. I have videos on it, documenting it and revealing it and all that. One day we'll bring the thing out and compare it to a factory one, because I think it looks better. But I rebarreled it because I wasn't 100% happy with the roll marks on the original barrel that was on that gun. So I have it left over, and I'm going to install it on this one. Now, what I want to know is, should I take the roll marks completely off of the Python barrel and just have a blank, no mark gun that has the silhouette style of the Colt Python? Or should I leave just the word Python on it? Or should I just leave the Colt markings on the side of it like this one says? Tell me what you folks think I should do to it. But it is going to be in royal blue. Also, I'd like a few suggestions on what kind of grips we're going to put on it. Keep in mind, it's not going to be nickel. It's going to be the royal blue color. And I've already decided I'm going to leave this hammer in it. That's 100% going to stay, because I want it to be different. I want it to be something different than everybody else has. So I'm going to have a 357 Magnum Colt Trooper, the Colt Python barrel on it, with a hammer-mounted firing pin on it. And I think it's going to be very awesome. But this is some of the differences. One of the other things is, if you look real close right here, the mounted material between the cylinder and where the hammer comes in on the frame is a lot thinner here than it is on the more beefier Colt Python. So it's a lot thicker. This is a lot more material that goes in between here. But other than that, it's a very, very similar gun. I have a very well-qualified gunsmith that's going to help me out with this project. Well, he's going to do this project. I'm going to do a couple things on it, but he's going to do it. And he said the pressure of the 357 Magnum is not going to affect this frame whatsoever. It's going to handle it fine. The cylinders are exactly the same size on the 38 Special Trooper than it is on this Colt Python. I'm not going to hold them next to each other on this camera. I don't want to bang them together too much, but these cylinders are exactly the same size, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. But I just want to show you a side-by-side comparison. These two guns are very similar shape. We're going to have a little bit of a different look right here because of the way this frame tapers down when we mate the Colt Python barrel to it. If you look at the Python one, it doesn't taper down at all, and it actually meshes together good with this ventilated barrel. But I think that's going to be cool. It's going to give it a different look. It's going to show that we're not just trying to duplicate a Colt Python. We're just trying to make something different. Now, on a collector monetary value, I do not care what it's worth when I'm done with it. It's going to be the only one. I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not planning on selling it. I'm told everybody this from day one, that I'm not a monetary value kind of guy. I want to do something cool kind of guy. And I think this is going to be a cool little project here. I acquired this gun for next to nothing because of the shape it was in, and I said I can save that. I can make something really cool out of it, and I don't care how much it's worth because I'm not going to sell it. If I put this much time and effort and the grand scheme of things, money into doing something like that, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it and show it off, shoot it, have fun with it, and all that. I think the genuine folks that watch these videos, they'll enjoy seeing what I'm going to do to it. But I'm going to give occasional updates. I know I haven't put as many videos out here in recent times because I had a lot of stuff going on. And I've just been very, very busy. There's been a lot of stuff happening in my personal life that I don't discuss on YouTube. But we're going to start going at it hardcore as much as we can here moving forward. Unless I just don't have time to do it. But this is going to be a real cool project. This is going to... This actually isn't for somebody else like the last one was. This is for me, so I'm going to take my time on it. I'm going to listen to people and take suggestions from people and see what they think we should do to this thing. The reason I was deciding to maybe possibly not put any markings on it is because it's missing the Colt pony here already, so maybe eliminate all of them and just have a barrel, a silhouette that looks like this. It says nothing on it, but it looks a little different up here, and it's chambered in 38, chambered in 357 Magnum. I don't know. We'll decide when we get that far, and we'll see how it turns out, but like some suggestions on the grips. I want something different. I don't want the conventional walnuts like this, because everybody has one of these. Everybody has a Colt Python with the original grips on it. I want to put something a little bit different on this, and a royal blue gun. It's a little bit smaller looking. We'll have the Python silhouette. I'll have the only hammer mounted firing pin 357 Magnum that looks like a Colt Python. The Smith & Wesson people love it. That's what they love. They love that that hammer mounted firing pin on it, which I don't care either way. I think one's as good as the other. This gun has great action on it already. Timing's perfect on it. Locks up perfectly, vent vault type like Colts do. Everything seems to function good. I have not fired it or anything. I mean, there's really no point in it because we're just going to take it all apart anyway. But I mean, it will work. You can see the firing pin does come through right here. So I mean, theoretically, it will go off. So let me know what you folks think, what you think we should do to it. If you have any suggestions at all, that would be really cool. Let me know what direction you would go with it, and it'll just be an interesting project to watch. But yeah, these guns are very, very similar in profiles. The Colt Python and the Colt Trooper. Now later on down the road, they changed the Colt Trooper quite a bit, where they used like a coil spring action in it, and the shape was a little different. I wasn't interested in one of those at all. I wanted one of these old school ones that had the leaf spring action in it, so we can make a really awesome revolver out of it. A one of a kind, one off one that everybody's going to ask how much it's worth. And we're not going to tell them what it's worth because we don't even know. So anyway, folks, let me know. Give me your suggestions, and thank you very much for watching this video, and you folks have a great day.